Okay, everybody, we got welcome to Six in the Cloud. We're playing with a little bit of music here, trying to see what we can. I should have faded that down, guys. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, welcome to Customer Experience in the Cloud. We've got a new coat of paint here because we're doing a CXC pit stop. Reflect, expect, project, and inspect. And what we're doing today, guys, we're going to be kind of looking at and talking about a little bit about kind of the theme of what we've been talking about in the last 11 shows. We're not going to get too deep on it, just touch upon it. And then what I'm really excited about is to talk to you guys about the next there's 3 mini series that's going to be broken into 5 segments, and I'll be sharing with you guys what those are and exactly how those can potentially make a difference with how you're approaching some of the projects that you're working on, specifically as it relates to some of the technologies that are going to be in the cloud. And anyway, so I was just about to start telling you what we're going to be talking about. Let me slow down here. So let's start off with the 3 takeaways from last week's show, where we had Goose. Andy Bird decided to be the Goose with that crazy Maverick thing in the back. But the whole point was that your customers need a wingman to help route them to the target with a successful outcome. And the technology is out there where it can help make decisions based on scoring, so that the customer gets to the right agent, it gets to the right channel, depending on where they're coming in, and if they want to actually communicate in a certain way, it helps to get them to that right place. And of course, with the intelligent routing, you're also providing more personalized service, because once the customer actually is talking to the agent via whatever channel it is, that interaction, of course, is going to be more germane towards a productive outcome or successful outcome for the customer, because you're not only taking into account the customer's score and what it is that their profile based on sentiment analysis, based on their purchase history and all those other things, but you're also taking into account the agent's behavior and how they handle a certain type of customer. So basically, the first call resolution rate is going to be a lot higher with that intelligent routing. And then, of course, it's about adopting a technology that allows the customer to have a frictionless journey. And again, with that wingman, the Goose, your AI as your wingman, guiding the way, then you're actually going to get a better opportunity to provide your customers with that service that they're looking for. So that was last week's show. And of course, all of the shows, we have a YouTube channel with all these different shows on there. And that last week's show wrapped up a 4-part series about how AI can actually support your customer experience differentiated. You want to be different from your competitors, and these 4 shows that we talked about, we talked about the various things that can actually do that. So today, reflect, expect, project, and inspect. So that's a lot, right? So what we're going to be talking about today is the fact that we're really here, guys, to kind of educate you if you need educating. Some of you guys know this stuff probably, I'm sure, more than me, to provoke some thought and to kind of accelerate some of the CX excellence that's out there based on all the things that are available to you from people, process, and technologies. And again, I used to run a bunch of contact centers in the US. I'm currently London-based, 21 contact centers at one point. And I think that I'm trying to bring some credibility to the things we're talking about, because again, I used to have to purchase these things and deploy them, and was responsible for making sure my budget went down every year, and that month to month there was a contribution to percent profit growth. So and we're going to actually get some benefit of that because of the fact that one of the shows coming up is going to be about building business cases, and again, I'll talk about that in a second. So before we do that, though, let's look for the last time, and we'll bring it up again. We'll have another North Star, but we'll have, the Omega Star or whatever stars are out there. But the North Star right now is what are the most important attributes of customer experience? So we have a graph here. Again, we want to remind everybody exactly what we're talking about. And fast response times, consistency across channels, and then, of course, knowledgeable staff, clear, consistent messaging, regardless of the channel, people that they can speak with, not to, and, of course, multiple contact points. So wherever they want to come in, we want to be able to make sure that that is a consistent experience, and that there's easy to use, effortless, easy to use tools to provide that service. So the next 5 sections. Again, the slide will come up here in a second. We're going to be talking about the first part, which as a CX contact center leader, a cloud contact center in the cloud leader, you're responsible for the brand image for the most part of your company. And think about that. That's a big responsibility, because of all the factoids that I used to give you guys over the last shows about why a customer will leave you if they don't get something, or if something's not right, or the first call resolution is not happening. I mean, there's all these pitfalls that we're discussing in the pit stop here that could potentially cause that customer to go somewhere else. And then there's all these things that we're talking about that will mitigate that, so that your customer can actually create a lasting relationship with you, a loyal relationship with you, which of course you can measure with what's called a customer lifetime value, which customer lifetime value, CLV, which is a mathematical formula that demonstrates that if the customer is spending, say, for example, $20 with you a month, and they tend to be with you for 18 months, we're going to try to get them up to $30 a month and have them spend about 30 months with you before they potentially might churn out. And so that's another whole show. But the point is that we're trying to increase that customer lifetime value by utilizing and fully operationalizing all the different things that you can do in people, process, and technology, and that being built on a cloud platform. And so going on a cloud platform, there are certain must-haves that you really need to be looking for when you're talking to a potential vendor out there, or even looking at your own incumbent, that, hey, this is the latest, and this is what's actually going to provide our customers with the best experience. So that's the first 3, and I'll talk about it here in a second. And then the other 2 are going to be going into the project and inspect part. So let's go ahead and put up that graph and give you guys some calendar dates there. So here we have next week, we're going to be doing the must-have. The first one is a channel-less experience. Now, right now, the current 25-cent word out there, guys, is omni-channel. Now, there is a core distinction between omni-channel and channel-less. And again, this is not the show to talk about it, but we're going to take you through that discussion so you can really get the difference. And one word that comes to mind is that channel-less is organic. So that's the only little clue I'm going to give you. And by the customer having an organic experience, they will actually be prone to actually want to do more business with you on future occasions. The next one here, on the 24th of February, we're going to go into a connected experience. And that's really where we're talking about that human-to-human connected experience. And what are the things that you can do from a technology standpoint, from a process standpoint, from a people standpoint, to make sure that you're embodying any opportunity you can for that emotional connection to occur, and that's part of your business, and that's part of the feeling and the vibe and the takeaway that the customer has. So we'll go into that. And then the third one here is going to be an effortless experience. Now, I know it's called, easy to do business with, effortless experience. Sometimes it's called a frictionless experience. We, as professionals in the industry, we're always trying to come up with the clever ways of saying the same thing. But at the end of the day, it's just got to be easy. And, what can we do to make it easy? And again, having your services in the cloud, your contact services in the cloud, there's ways to do that. And there are things that we're going to talk about that are the must-haves or the distinctions in making sure that, okay, does my current platform, have these things so that the customer is having an effortless, a frictionless, an easy experience? Because there are studies out there, and I'll bring it up in the show, that the customer, they will go to, say I call one company, and the experience with that agent on that company is, it's all right. But the agent got me to my goal. The routing got me to the goal, and then when I was talking to the agent, got me to the goal, and it was quite easy. Versus if I talk to an agent that is, I'm just like, oh my God, you're like the best agent on the planet, but I was on the call with you for 20 minutes, and you were struggling, and I wish maybe I would have had another agent that wasn't so nice that could have handled it. So that translates into increased capacity by making sure that the call is as short as possible within the process, but at the same time not losing the good feel that the agent can give the customer. And of course, the fact that the customer is going to give you a good rating, which means they're going to come back and it's going to have organic growth and net promoter score. They're going to tell their buddies at the barbecue how great you guys and how easy it was to do business with you. So there are economic impacts of that, which dovetail to the next show or 2 shows, which are going to be on the, hold on my screen here, on the 10th and the 17th of March, where in a two-part series, we're going to talk about how to build a CCaaS business case. How do you start the discussion with your boss, with the CFO, with the CTO, with the CIO, to say, listen, guys, look, here's if we had this or these things in play on our platform, or if we move from on-prem to cloud, here are the big chunky things that we're going to immediately be able to benefit from, which we can divert into agent training and divert into other technologies, divert into marketing. And I think it's on average, and we'll show this to you guys, on average, it's about 52% savings, up to 52% savings that you can get from going from on-prem to the cloud. And when it comes to going from cloud to cloud, then we're talking about the differentiators in the platform itself, and how do we extrapolate the difference in the channel mix, and how that impacts your cost per contact, your cost to serve, so forth and so on. And then the final one here until the end of March, it's going to be how to evaluate your next CCaaS provider. And again, we're trying to take an agnostic approach to this. In my 30 years of doing this, I'm still programmed to look at it from your standpoint, to look at it from a standpoint of like, what would I buy to make sure that I was successful in making sure my boss didn't fire me, or that I got that promotion, or the award at the end of the year with the virtual ceremony that we're going to have, of course, because of COVID. By the way, we're still in lockdown here in London, and it's pretty nerve-wracking. But anyway, we want to talk to you guys about these things over the next few weeks. And then we got some more clever things coming up after that. We're always filling it up with some cool stuff that you guys can participate in. And speaking of that, it would be really good if you guys challenge us. If in the section where it has the comments in there, send a note saying, no, dude, I don't believe what you're saying. I think you're full of crap. Or why didn't you talk about this? Or how come you didn't point that out? Or hey, that was great. Why don't you extrapolate on that? And if you're a little shy, like we all can be a little shy, send me a note directly. Now, here's another thing I want to point out with the show as well. Coming up, we're going to have guests on each one of those shows, all 5 of those sections, those little series that range from, agent level all the way up to thought leader. So we're not going to, have some PhD in there that's going to, tell you about phenomes and, stuff that you're like, okay, I have no idea what he's talking about. But, a team leader that, asking them, what were the challenges that you've had? What do you wish you had? When you put in the new system, why didn't it work, or why did it work? Because we know at the end of the day, we want you to be able to identify with what we're talking about. We take pride in the fact that, life size and, it's about life, and we want to be able to participate fully in your ability to change the experience in the lives of the customers that you're servicing. And, I know that's a little shameless little plug there, but that is the point. And our little logo here, I realize that's supposed to be like a microphone or something, but the reality is, to me, I just see somebody smiling. They're all happy, like, yeah, life size, and that is the vibe and the feel that we're trying to make sure that your customers get when they're using our platform. But anyway, that was it. So tune in next week when we get into a channelist experience. And we go all the way down. The one that I'm most excited about, to tell you the truth, is building business cases. I love building business cases. I love creating a situation where you're demonstrating that by being better to the customer, by being better to your agents, you're actually saving and making more money. It costs half as much to have one call than 2 calls. It's simple, simple math there, back of the napkin with first call resolution. Okay, I didn't want to blow you guys away with any kind of super math there, but look, we look forward to you guys participating with us on future shows. If you have any ideas, heck, if you want to be on the show, send me a note and we'll have you on the show. I mean, it's only like 10, 20 minutes. And you guys can do it. It's live. If you mess up, you just fall forward like I do, and you get some exposure, and you get a chance to have some dialogue and to be able to share with a wider audience some of the successes and challenges that you've had. So with that said, guys, we look forward to you joining us next week with CXC. Notice our new logo. Let us know what you think about the paint colors as well, and the music. We'll take requests for the opening of the show for music. And you guys have a great week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.